Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we look at the latest comics and other media featuring the Transformers. In this episode, we see things going from bad to worse for the Autobots and Earth in Skybound's Transformers number 10. Today is Friday, July 12th, 2024, and this is episode 398 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that was mulching things before it was cool. I'm your host Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Scott, the illustrious Dr. Pants.
Hello, everyone.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hi there. Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to help us out and contribute to the show. We really appreciate the support. And if you are not a Donatron and would like to become one, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. That's how you can sign up and help us out. You get lots of perks with becoming a Donatron. That includes access to bonus content. You get entered into all our contests automatically. You get to watch the show live while we record it before it goes up for everyone else. So lots of good stuff. Speaking of bonus content, we've got our bonus show, We Like Big Bots. That's done by Daryl and Dr. Pants. They go through and talk about all the big bots in their collection. They've got 13 episodes out right now. One more has been recorded and edited and will be going out very soon. So look forward to that. The latest episode that was out was on Ultra Magnus. He's a very big bot. So take a look at those. If you are a Donatron, you'll have access to all of those. And you'll get immediate access to them. If you sign up, you get access to all 13 episodes right away. So lots of good stuff there. We've also got our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. And this week we had the bonus version of episode 119, Faster Mountain Worm Kill Kill. And that's available for Donatrons right now. The regular version of episode 119 will be out next Monday, July 15th. And that will be at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. So check out our awesome RPG Live Play podcast done by Mike and the crew. We've also got our exclusive Transformers number 1 from Skybound with the cover art by E.J. Sue. And that is available on our website at transmissionspodcast.com/comic. And you can pick that up there. We'll also have some at TFCon Toronto this weekend. If you're there with us and you run into us, feel free to ask us and we will sell you one of these comics for just $15. And lastly, of course, we've got our Toy Hacks 15% off code, BBQ Bots, for the month of July. So the month of July, BBQ Bots will get you 15% off all your purchases at toyhacks.com. You can use that code as many times as you want on as big or small purchases that you get from Toy Hacks. You cannot combine it with any other promo codes, but you can use it with the Robo Points. So take advantage of that code. And we will be doing our Toy Hacks drawing for the month of July, probably in another 2 weeks or so. So next time Jeremy and I are together on the show, we will get that done. So look forward to that. All right. So that's all our pre-discussion. Let's jump into the show with our comic review. All right, we are doing a spoiler-filled review of Transformers number 10. So this is written by Daniel Warren Johnson, artist Jorge Corona, colorist Mike Spicer, Letterer Russ Wooten, editor Ben Abernathy, publication design Andres Juarez, and production Jillian Crabb. So this is your warning now. We are going full spoilers for this review of Transformers number 10. We're going to go into the full summary. So get out now if you haven't read the comic, and then come back after you finish it. So we're going to talk about it right now. Go. All right. So, we've got some preview pages from Skybound. So we get the origin of Beachcomber in this issue. So that's a cool little fun aside here. So let's talk about it. We start with a flashback from millions of years ago on the Ark. The Autobots and Decepticons are in a pitched battle as the craft speeds through space towards the Earth. In the middle of this battle, Skywarp dominates the Minibot Beachcomber and throws him out of a hole in the Ark's hull. Beachcomber is caught in the moon's gravitational pull and crashes on the surface. He sits there stranded and utterly alone for millions of years, until 1969, when the Apollo 11 mission brings the first human spacecraft to the moon. Beachcomber is thrilled to finally have a means of escape. He hitches a ride on the hull of the lunar lander and makes the journey to Earth undetected. On Earth, Beachcomber is delighted by the beauty of the natural wonders of life on Earth. He's found a paradise that he wants to remain pristine, but he does eventually locate the crash site of the Ark, with all his Autobot friends and the Decepticons deactivated within. He has the opportunity to wake them, but he doesn't. We return to the present, where we see Beachcomber telling the story of how he came to Earth to Spike after rescuing him from Astrotrain. Spike asks why he didn't wake his friends. Beachcomber answers that he didn't want the Autobots to bring their war to Earth and destroy its beauty. He figured that if he left them all offline, they could sleep peacefully forever. Spike asks Beachcomber why he revealed himself to save him. He answers that Spike is just as much a creature of this world as any other and deserves his protection. Meanwhile, Astrotrain rages at being captured. Beachcomber is a pacifist, but not a fool. He secured Astrotrain in steel chains to make sure he can't attack them. Astrotrain demands his release, but Beachcomber says he's pretty sure Astrotrain would kill him if he unlocked the chains. Astrotrain agrees that's exactly what he'd do. Spike tells Beachcomber that Astrotrain was going to take him to another Decepticon, Shockwave. Beachcomber is visibly upset at the mention of the name. He tells Spike that Shockwave is a ruthless Decepticon strategist who enjoys pulling Autobots apart piece by piece. Astrotrain adds that Shockwave and Soundwave will take this planet for all it's worth. Beachcomber asks Spike what he means, and Spike answers that they plan to harvest the Earth and bleed its resources dry. Beachcomber is saddened to hear this, but he tells Spike that he made a promise to himself to never hurt anything or anyone again, and he wants no part of continuing to fight the war against the Decepticons. At the Decepticon base, on the Nemesis at the bottom of the ocean, Shockwave enters Soundwave's lab to tell him good news. The portal to Cybertron has been repaired. But then Shockwave is curious to see what Soundwave is doing. Soundwave tells him he is repairing Ravage since he was damaged fighting the Autobots. Shockwave dismisses his concern and grabs the body of Ravage to throw in the recycling furnace. He tells Soundwave that when Cybertron is revitalized, they can build new and better versions of his Recordicons instead of messing with the old models. But before Shockwave can dump Ravage in the recycler, he looks up and is distracted by something else. He drops Ravage to the ground and runs out of the lab to behold it, telling Soundwave to follow him. Shockwave is amazed at the giant whales in the ocean and thinks they're a beautiful sight. These magnificent creatures will fuel the revitalization of Cybertron, and Shockwave is very excited by that. Just then, Scrapper tells Shockwave that construction of their feeder machine is complete, and Shockwave watches in glee as Scrapper turns on the machine. It sucks the whales and all the sea creatures into its giant maw, turning all that magnificent sea life into nothing but fuel for the Decepticons' machines. Yikes. Back on land, at the dam near the hydroelectric plant, Wheeljack has managed to restore his Energon-producing machine to full capacity. RC congratulates him on his success, but their celebration is short-lived. Just then, Optimus Prime returns to them with 2 new bots. RC is surprised to see Elita 1 and another bot who has been so badly damaged he is unrecognizable. But RC does recognize him. It's her mentor, Ultra Magnus. She thought he was dead, but she is so glad he survived. Wheeljack assures Magnus that Ratchet can fix him up in no time, but then Optimus tells Wheeljack the bad news. Ratchet didn't survive the assault on the Decepticon base. Wheeljack is distraught and runs off, telling Optimus he needs to be alone. Meanwhile, Cliffjumper and Jazz have been imprisoned by the Decepticons in their base. Shockwave arrives to torture them for information and just for the sheer pleasure of it. He starts by taunting them that Optimus Prime has abandoned them. Now he wants to know everything they know about this new planet. Soundwave watches briefly, then leads Thundercracker away to let Shockwave do his work alone. In the cell, Cliffjumper starts screaming. As Soundwave and Thundercracker walk away, Thundercracker expresses his unease at Shockwave's brutal methods. Prisoners of war should not be treated this way. Soundwave tells Thundercracker that they need Shockwave for now, so they have to let him do his work. He controls Cybertron, so they still need him. So then Thundercracker asks if Shockwave can help them mount an attack on the Ark to rescue his brother Skywarp. But Soundwave shuts that down. Skywarp is beyond their help, and their focus must be on the Decepticon cause. As a soldier in the Decepticon army, Thundercracker's life belongs to the Decepticon leader, Soundwave. However, neither Soundwave nor Thundercracker notice that their conversation is being overheard by Combaticon leader, Onslaught. Back at the dam, as night falls, Elita 1 talks to Optimus Prime alone. She tells him that what they did to Ultra Magnus will be done to Cliffjumper and Jazz as well. Optimus wants to rescue them, but Elita 1 tells him it won't be easy. She sacrificed much to rescue Ultra Magnus and lost many along the way. Then she mentions with some resentment that she could have used Optimus back on Cybertron. Optimus argues that he was trapped on Earth, but she counters that they needed him eons ago on Cybertron when things got bad and the Decepticons took over. Optimus tells her he made a choice for the good of Cybertron, but she answers that there's not much good left on Cybertron. And since Shockwave has seen this new planet now, he won't stop until he consumes it completely for Cybertron and the Decepticons. Optimus resolves to stop them and asks Elita if she will join him. At the Decepticon base, Shockwave has another surprise for the Decepticons. Using the fuel harvested from mulching up the sea creatures, he has enough energy to enact Phase 2 of his plan. Harvesting Earth's resources and transporting them to Cybertron would take over a century with the technology they have. So Shockwave has a new solution. He taps some buttons on the console, and the machine hums to life. A massive beam of energy shoots into space, opening a planet-sized portal in space, bringing the entire planet of Cybertron into close proximity with the Earth. Back on land, Astrotrain, Beachcomber, and Spike see the giant planet come into view in the sky above. Astrotrain yells in triumph, but Beachcomber and Spike are terrified. At the Decepticon base, Shockwave declares, "Let the harvest begin." To be continued in the next exciting issue of Transformers. So things are getting pretty bad for the Autobots here and for Earth in general. Shockwave seems to be really, this is a very interesting departure from how Shockwave has been characterized in past iterations. He's not the kind of cold, unfeeling, all logic Shockwave. He's much more, he's much more like the sadistic mustache twirling villain here, where he kind of gets off on torturing people and causing as much pain and suffering as he can, and even like taking things that he thinks are beautiful and lovely and crunching them up to make energy to use for helping Cybertron. It's very interesting how enthusiastic Shockwave is about all the terrible things he's doing. But overall, this I think the pace continues to ramp up for the Transformers comic. And I think I remember back before, like when the comic was just announced and an interview with Robert Kirkman. He said they were going to touch on some of like a story from the original animated series. So I think that is coming to fruition here. I mean, it seems like clearly to be an homage to the Ultimate Doom 3-part story from the original animated series, where they opened a space bridge to bring the entire planet of Cybertron to Earth. So it seems like that's where we're kind of taking a little bit of a variation on that theme. Although this does make me wonder, like, we still have this issue where when we started the Duke miniseries took place 6 months after the the incident in like Transformers #2 where his friend was killed, and the Transformers comic has not had any time jumps, so we're still like 6 months in the past compared to the GI Joe stuff. But the GI Joe stuff didn't really reference like anything major happening. Like they didn't reference a planet like just appearing in the sky on Earth. Like, wasn't that crazy that a planet appeared in the sky on Earth a few months ago? It doesn't seem like anyone noticed that. So I'm wondering how like all these crazy things are happening in Transformers, but in like other parts of the Energon universe, no one's like noticing them or commenting on them. So I wonder if that's going to get resolved, but that's just a minor nitpick for me. But I really think the Transformers story has been ramping up. One thing I do want to like complain about the cover, like the cover A is RC and Carly like looking up at the stars, but RC and Carly are barely in this issue, so it's kind of weird to focus on them on the cover. But you know, that's just a nitpick. I don't like it when comic covers kind of lie to you about what's going on in the main story in the book. But I overall I liked everything about this issue. I was surprised to find out that the bot that Elita 1 had been carrying was Ultra Magnus. I originally didn't think he was recognizable, but Jeremy called it. I think Jeremy called it when the first introduced that was Ultra Magnus. So good job, Jeremy, for recognizing that. But we get a confirmation here, and also confirmation that it looks like Ratchet is not coming back. At least, I mean, I think that was pretty clear last issue. But and Beachcomber had an interesting story and we actually get some time, like some confirmation that that the arc was dormant for millions of years. Like I think in the first issue of the story, from their point of view, they had only been at war for a century, is what they said. But they had, I guess that was before they crashed on Earth and then went offline. So yeah, so Cybertron and everything else has been going on for millions of years while all the Autobots slept. And yeah, Beachcomber, you should have woken up the Autobots. We could have avoided all of this if you had just woken up the Autobots when you found them, and then they could have disposed of the Decepticons and then taken care of everything. It would have been fine. But you know, I don't think pacifism is the way to go here, Beachcomber. But yeah. All right. What did you guys think of this story, Dr. Pants? What did you think of this issue?
Absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love what they're doing, and you bring up an interesting point with Beachcomber should have woken up the Autobots, but I think this issue is filled with a lot of things coming to fruition from decisions that were made that at the time sound like great decisions, but in the end, like screwed things up. Beachcomber should have woken up the Autobots. Optimus Prime shouldn't have left Cybertron. Like he thought he was doing it for good, but Elita 1 says, well, now it's garbage. I don't think Elita 1, like as is right now, we don't know how it's going to play out, but I don't think the decision Elita 1 made to rescue Ultra Magnus was in the best interest of everything. But I'm going to get to that because I have a lot to say on Elita 1. That was my big thing with this issue. I absolutely love what they're doing with the character development here, where Soundwave always seemed very cold in the cartoon because of the way he spoke and everything, and he was loyal to Megatron, but that was really it. But he does care. He says it's my Ravage, not just Ravage. It's my Ravage. Like, it's connected to him very much like it was in the IDW, and how he reacts to like Shockwave taking Ravage away. Like, there's that one moment where you see him like, "What are you doing? No."
Mm-hmm.
And he even disagrees with Shockwave's methods. And he says, like, there are many organic wonders. There's something new to see every day. Like, he's impressed with the world. And I don't know that Shockwave necessarily sees something beautiful in the whales. I think when he says something so majestic is, do you see this gigantic life form? This is majestic because it's a giant source of energy. I don't know that. I don't necessarily know if I see Shockwave being very different than he was in IDW, where he was very logical and very cold. I think he's still that way, just a little bit more animated about it. Because everything is for a purpose. Everything is to drive his rule of everything. And I'm sure him torturing the Autobots the way he's doing has a purpose to it. It's not just necessarily sick and sadistic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure like everything has a purpose, but he also is like, he's not shy about saying, I'm enjoying this. Like,
This is also true.
This has a purpose, but also this is fun for me. This is great.
Yeah. Like the shot of like the pure red when all the whale slurry is happening. He's like, yes. The discussion between Soundwave and Thundercracker. Thundercracker cares about Skywarp, and he's like, look what they did. I don't want this to happen. Soundwave is like, we just let Shockwave do his thing because we need him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I don't agree with it, but I also... Is Brawl dead? Like, Onslaught's talking to him and Brawl is not saying anything, and he's just half a torso. Is Brawl alive or is he dead? I don't know. There's a lot going on with like interconnectivity.
I think he's alive because Onslaught is like, we're gonna get you fixed up, buddy. Don't worry. So
yeah, I know.
I think he's alive,
but he's not saying anything. He's just kind of like in this weird position, like.
Yeah. But also Onslaught spying on Soundwave and Thundercracker. I wonder if that's going to come up later. That was a little bit interesting.
There's a lot of things that are, I think, leading into some surprises going on. I would not be surprised to see the Decepticons kind of go against Shockwave because of what he's doing. Something's going to be a breaking point. They're going to be like, no, this is not how we do this. The Beachcomber thing, beautiful. I did love it. I love those first few pages. The artwork and everything with it, absolutely fantastic. I love Beachcomber. I love that he offered Astro Train some Energon.
Yeah.
He's like, do you want some? And Astro Train's like, I'm going to murder you. And it will be slow. How did Beachcomber tie up Astro Train, by the way? That's the one thing I want to know is how did he accomplish that? But I'll let it go. So here is my big issue. And I got into a discussion with a friend of mine after issue 9. I hate Alita 1 in this series. She is my least favorite character in this series. I cannot stand her. Now, she is well written. That is not my problem. But she makes a big deal to say, I spent an eternity saving Ultra Magnus. Okay, you spent an eternity trying to save him, but you're saying Cybertron's in a bad way. Couldn't you have been doing anything else than trying to save one bot? Because now you're going to make Optimus Prime feel bad about abandoning it when he did what he thought was right. Like, Optimus left because he thought it was good for Cybertron. And now you're going to make him feel bad because things turned out bad now. How is he supposed to know? Can he see the future? Also, you talk about what they did to Ultra Magnus is what they're going to do to Cliffjumper and Jazz. You spent an eternity saving one robot from what Shockwave did, but you left 2 other bots to complete what you did. Like, you saved Ultra Magnus, and that was more important than saving 2 other Autobots who were in good shape. Like, she needs to shut up. She's a hypocrite, and she's a dick, and I can't stand her. Because she has done nothing but ruin everything. She is the reason that Jazz and Cliffjumper are stuck there. she is doing nothing but making Optimus feel bad for everything he's done when he is trying to do everything in his power that is right. And like, are they gonna they can't even fix Ultra Magnus because Ratchet is dead. So what good is Ultra Magnus gonna do? He's gonna waste Energon is what he's gonna do.
I mean, maybe Wheeljack can fix him.
I don't know. But nonetheless, I don't like Alita 1, and I don't like the fact that she's here because, truthfully, when she showed up, like, if she rescued Ultra Magnus and spent an eternity doing it, obviously she's badass. Why couldn't she have been fighting and helped get Cliffjumper and Jazz? She was too narrow-sighted to say, I got to get Ultra Magnus back. Screw everyone else. I don't care if other people die. My mission's more important.
I mean, I don't know. We also don't know if that was all she was doing for those eons was searching for Ultra Magnus. I think maybe that was like one of her several missions she was on. I don't know, but yeah, also, I also question Optimus Prime. Like, first of all, I question why Ratchet was on the mission to go attack the Decepticons. Ratchet is not a frontline guy. He's the medic. So you should leave. The medic should stay behind. The medic should not be going in. Your only medic should not be going into the line of fire. But
true. But part of me believes that Ratchet might have said, "I'm coming."
Maybe.
Yeah. But she does say, like, it took me an eternity to get Ultra Magnus, and even then I lost many. Like, she's saying I lost a lot of people trying to get Ultra Magnus. Like, okay.
And we saw, like, Huffer and Cup were two of those many.
Yeah, and like we could have used Huffer and Cup.
Yeah.
But I just, she is, I don't like her. I don't like her because I feel like she is doing a lot of wrong for the Autobots rather than good. But well, and like I said, she's well written. Like, I don't hate her being there necessarily in the story. I hate she's a focus for my displeasure in this comic. Her and Shockwave. You know what? I love everyone else. Why do I hate Shockwave and Alita 1 the most? But that's, I think that's all I have to say on this. Oh, except for that last panel. Shockwave just standing in front of Cybertron, that acting hand with the glow in the eye. That is chef's kiss, like perfection of a panel. I want a poster of that. It's so good. So good.
Yeah. No, the art has been really good. I mean, Jorge Corona has been doing a great job. I think it is in line with Daniel Warren Johnson's style, but it's its own thing and really matches the gritty feel, the gritty tone that Daniel Warren Johnson started with the first 6 issues. I think these issues with Jorge Corona have been really on par with that. So
it's just
been really good.
Some outstanding shots, and the panel right before that of like Cybertron reflected in Beachcomber's visor, like, also just such good work. I love this.
And that 2-page spread of the beam coming out of Earth and opening that portal to Cybertron.
Yeah,
and you've got the moon, the moon in the foreground with the American flag there. It's just a really, really cool image.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever complain about the artwork in this. The artwork has been, from issue 1 till now, it has never been a misstep. The artwork's fantastic. I love it.
Yep. All right, Daryl, what were your thoughts on this issue?
Well, when you were saying that you would remember an interview with Robert Kirkman saying something about how they were going to recreate a moment from earlier. I thought you were going to mention how they were going to recreate a moment from the last night, because here they are bringing Cybertron to Earth, and that's exactly what they did in that movie. So
I think that was wasn't that Dark of the Moon? I thought that was Dark of the Moon.
No.
It was last night.
It was last night.
Oh.
It was last night.
But anyway, I agree. This was a fun book. I enjoyed the little little origin for Beachcomber. I can see how Beachcomber would kind of think that if I wake up the rest of the Autobots, something's going to go wrong. It's like when you try to keep a secret, and a secret with two people is one too many people, right? So it's, so essentially the more bots you bring online, the greater the chance is that somebody's going to make a mistake and a Decepticon will get woken up, and then it's all hell will break loose, right? So he knows that he can keep the peace by just keeping everybody asleep. And so that's the choice that Beachcomber made, and I can see it being made, and that's fine. I respect that. If I was a bot that's asleep and I found out that he just let me sleep, I'd be pissed. but I can see from the outside looking in, I can see why that decision was made, and it's a good decision. The Shockwave is maniacal in this, and I want to pose the question back to you when you were discussing it here between the both of you. Do you think Soundwave is afraid of Shockwave? Because I think he is. I think Soundwave is actually terrified of Shockwave because of he's nuts, right? Like Shockwave is crazy, and we might as well be on the side of crazy rather than in the way of crazy, right? So we don't want to get in his way. We'll just kind of placate him, that kind of thing. So, once you start standing in the way of crazy, you get hurt. So.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I mean,
yeah,
Shockwave is your friend from high school who's like now on meth and is like really super violent and will beat someone up for you, but you don't ever want to cross him.
That's right. So I have a feeling that Soundwave is genuinely terrified of Shockwave, and so you just Soundwave's just the kind of character that it's going to be hard to tell. It's why when Shockwave grabbed the carcass of Ravage, that you didn't see more of a response from Soundwave. That he's trying to revive Ravage and bring Ravage back, but he was going to throw Ravage into this wood chipper, and Soundwave was just going to let him, right? He's like, well, yeah, like, okay, if I don't let him, then I'm going in right after. So, I think Soundwave's legitimately scared of Shockwave. The spot with the whales it kind of shocked me, because I saw the page with him just kind of like, oh, there's kind of cool stuff here, and it's huge, and then he's you got the Constructicon saying we're ready, and he's like, and this giant whatever the hell it is, it's the wood chipper, and then it's just like, and it's just chipping up all the whales. I'm like, holy shit, he just ate it all up.
It's a whale chipper, cool. Not a wood chipper, a whale chipper.
A whale chipper, yeah. As far as like your comments on Elita 1, I don't have a lot. Like, I mean, we haven't spent that much time with Elita 1, just other than watching her rescue Ultra Magnus, which, good call, Jeremy. You nailed that one. I think I remember there being some type of hint that there was some inner dialogue about Ultra Magnus around the time that we saw this kind of beat up body. So there was some kind of a tip off that it might be Ultra Magnus.
So what happened in that issue, if I remember correctly, it was that the story was split. Like on Earth, RC was telling Carly about her mentor who was Ultra Magnus and that he died. And then the other part of the story was Elita 1 saving this mystery bot. So
Right.
I think that was where Jeremy drew the connection that this must be Ultra Magnus, which he was right.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was an interesting little kind of tip, because it was supposed to be a mystery and it was for a while, but you kind of had a feeling. The art in this issue was great. There are still the stamps, but I feel like I'm just kicking a dead horse at this point. So yeah. I also, Dr. Pants, agree that I have no idea how Beachcomber would have restrained Astro Train. But some questions don't require answers, I guess. So
There
yeah.
has to be
But
some
other than-
suspension of disbelief.
Exactly. I like the origin story. I like the issue altogether. It was good. And it's not one. Oh, actually, Charles's your little mention of GI Joe not mentioning anything about the planet showing up in the atmosphere. Yeah, that would be a global phenomenon. Like, everyone would talk about that. So, something like this would make the news. And yeah, so if this is a universe, like an Energon universe, kind of deal, these GI Joe books are either behind or not connected, I guess. But anyway, not a mere mention of GI Joe in this, which is great. So anyway, I'm done.
Well, I mean, there's not much GI Joe can do about a planet showing up in the atmosphere. So
They had a spaceship.
They don't yet.
yeah,
Also, it is 6 months later, and at this point, everybody's talked about it. Like, well, it didn't happen again. Guess we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta think like a planet showing up that close to Earth is gonna, like, I mean, even in the cartoon, The Ultimate Doom, it showed that when Cybertron came close to Earth, a lot of havoc, like the weather and like natural disasters went crazy on Earth. So, I imagine there's going to be some similar things here. Like, you don't just have a massive chunk of gravity show up out of nowhere and have nothing go wrong on the planet. I think, at the very least, your tides are going to go crazy. So, I imagine there's going to be some after effects of this. We'll see.
Oh,
I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My other thing is just like, these robots, have they never figured out solar power? Like on Cybertron, Cybertron has got to still be revolving around the star, right? Nobody figured out solar power there. Nobody figured out solar power on Earth. I mean, I know it's fun to crunch up organic material, but solar power seems to be a much easier, more efficient way to get energy. But
Is there energy in mulching organic material? Like,
yes, whales are calories, and calories are heat, which is a type of energy. So yes, whales.
I mean, that's what fossil fuels are. It's just dead organic matter that's been laying dormant for millions of years. So Shockwave just sped up the process. He's like, just get that material right now.
I mean,
okay.
I mean, here's the thing: we eat animals to give ourselves energy. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But there's there's a lot of other systems at play
It's
here. You can't
not efficient.
Just chop it all up.
It's
well, That's what the machine is for. It's a machine. It's a magical machine, Daryl. It's a sciencey machine that does stuff with the material.
It's a sciencey machine made by a robot from outer space who turns into a submarine / laser gun.
I give each comic book one suspension of disbelief, and this one is requiring 2, and I can't do 2.
I really don't think it is.
Only two. Only 2. Giant living robots, a planet being transported from space, a machine that mulches up whales and turns it into energy.
No, hold on. You can put those two together because the planet was brought by a machine powered by whale mulch. If we want to simplify it even more.
All right. I think Transformers comics have like about 37 suspensions of disbelief, but if you're only counting 2, okay.
No, I only give it 1. I give them 1 per book.
All right.
The giant robot part usually takes it up every time, though.
All right. Well, yeah. So that would be my major question to Shockwave is like, have you considered solar power? Or maybe just go find Elon Musk as a candidate for mulching someone up. If you want to mulch someone up,
I want to believe that mulching all of the whales would be faster than all the energy they could have harvested from solar. But I'm not a scientist because he needed it now. And like, how much solar power could they have collected with? They would have had to make a big solar machine, a big solar collector. He doesn't care about life. There's big animals there. They're full of calories. Mulch them up. Let's bring our planet here. You got whales. You got to nuke something.
I think I think even like the amount of biomass I don't know. The energy conversion from biomass seems to be a much less efficient process than just harvesting light and turning it into electricity. But I don't know. This is not a real thing anyway. This is magic robots from space. So the discussion is this is discussing whether Galactus or Unicron could win in a fight. I mean, it's a meaningless discussion.
It's obvious.
Okay. So just to throw more into this, a blue whale would be about 360 million calories, by the way. So it's a lot of energy.
Maybe. I think Shockwave just likes mulching up creatures. So.
Well, I think he just likes dissecting things. Yeah.
All right. Well, that is all our discussion for Transformers number 10. Let us know what you thought of it, and we'll move on with the rest of the show. We got some media news to talk about.
All right. First up in media news, we've got some trading cards. You like trading cards? You like to buy Transformers trading cards? There hasn't been a real good set in a real long time, but Dynamite, not Dynamite, but Dynamite, like the comic book company, is looking to change that with a new set of collector cards. So these are trading cards. They are release date is August 28th, and they are looking to be $5.99 a pack, or you can there's a bunch of different ways to get it. Actually, there's a hanger box for $10. There's a hobby blaster box for $17.95. There's a hobby box for $110. Or there's 3 different case sizes. There's a hanger case, and a blaster case, and a hobby box case. These are some pretty cool looking cards. They've got some G1 comic art in it. They've got the old style like box art, and then they've got pictures of like the comic covers on it, which is really cool. Plus pictures of toys as well, like the G1 toys. So this is like really cool looking G1 comic and toy and all kinds of crazy box art stuff too. It looks really awesome. Each car or each pack is let's see here. It is how many cards? Why doesn't it say on the pack how many cards there are? So the complete set is 110 base cards. There is a full parallel set of 110 rainbow hollow foil cards. There are 6 creator art cards from Bob Budiansky, 6 creator art cards from Simon Furman. There are 40 one-of-one unique single print cards. That would be cool to get. And those are randomly inserted in select packs. And then there are signed and sketch art cards randomly inserted into the packs. I wonder who did the art for these things. This would be cool. Doesn't really say. But those look pretty cool. Yeah, there's some really nice looking cards here. So there's like foil cards and all kinds of different neat. Yeah.
Looks like there's 10 cards in a pack, by the way.
Yeah. That's cool. 10 cards in a pack. Yeah. So cool. Right on. So right, those look really cool. And so you should be able to pre-order these via Toy Wiz, Decard World, and Sci-Fi Cards. Yeah. I'm sure most places that sell comic books and trading cards, you'll probably be able to find these as well. But these look kind of fun. I might pick up a pack or two just to see what they look like. Yeah, I'm a fan of trading cards. Yeah, probably pick up some of these. Yeah, cool. All right. Next up, the table read. I think we were talking about this last time that this was happening. The Transformers Season 1, Episode 1 table read with special guests Arif Kinchin and Frank Tadaro is now on YouTube, so you can check that out. Yeah, there are some great performances in this. I'm about a third of the way through it, and watching these great voice actors redo their parts is just fantastic. And yeah, it's fun. So take a look at that if you have some time. It's redoing the original G1 episode, the first episode, and yeah, watching these guys that are masters of their craft redo it. It's great. Really fun. This was the thing that was played in the theaters too. So you can, if you feel like you missed out on something really cool, this is a way to see it. All right, next up, we've got news on the Transformers music from the original animated series, the official digital release. All right, so this is the classic G1 soundtrack that was released on vinyl in 2018. I know that a lot of us bought this. I think I didn't buy this one, but I know Jeremy did. Charles, did you get this?
I don't think I did. No.
Scott?
Mm-mm.
No, I think Jeremy got this. I didn't get this one. I got the one of the other ones though. And anyway, so this thing is getting a digital release that is it's a 42 track album, and you can pick it up you can pick it up on iTunes on July 26th, and the release date you can find it on Spotify. Already has the track Walking Nightmare, which I don't really know what that sounds like, but sounds fun. And yeah, so it's going to be on July 26th as well for Spotify. So you can take a look at that there as well. That sounds fun. Next up, we've got a new Transformers game. So this is a console game. So this isn't one of those mobile games. This is a console game that you can pick up for your PC, Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo Switch in October. And this is called Transformers Galactic Trials. It's developed by Outright Games, which also did work on Transformers Battlegrounds and the Transformers Earthspark Expedition games. I believe, Charles, you played both of those.
Played Battlegrounds. I don't know if I played what was the other one?
Earthspark Expedition.
No, I don't think I played that one.
Okay. So we have a bit of a trailer that they released on the screen right now if you're watching the video, and you can take a look. If you're not watching the video, we have a link in the show notes. You can take a look, and it looks okay. A lot of the designs are like the evergreen designs, so it's whatever. It's what it is. I mean, it's worth a shot, I guess. I wish there was like a game rental place, because I really don't want to spend $60 or whatever on a video game just to have it be terrible, because honestly, it doesn't give me the Transformers Devastation vibes. So we'll see. I'm sure Dr. Pants will buy it.
Wait 6 months, it'll be $20.
Yeah.
It might also, might have a demo. That's still a thing. They still make demos.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll buy it right away, because I'll be honest, I didn't buy Battlegrounds. The last Transformers game I bought was Devastation. This does look kind of cool, though. My big thing, Flame War's in it. Of all the characters, they threw Flame War in, which I think is really, really cool. But the fact that it's got kind of like the racing element and then like the free-for-all arena battler kind of thing, I don't know. I'll check it out.
Okay. Cool. All right, next up, we've got another Transformers crossover. This one, I think we mentioned there was a rumor about it, and now it's official. Transformers and Overwatch are crossing over and in a bit of a collab, and so this is there's a comic that's being put out, and this is it's out now, so you can take a look. But this comic is here. You can take a look. This is Transformers Transmission, I guess they're calling it. We are not affiliated, but it's nice to be mentioned, kind of. If you're a fan of Overwatch, Dr. Pants, why don't you take it from here? Because I've never played Overwatch.
At this point, most people know Overwatch. It's a hero shooter. Two teams fight over an objective. I read through the comic, actually, because I was a little curious. Basically, Megatron finds an Earth that is not a planet, or it's not the Earth he's familiar with, and he's wondering what's going on. He comes into contact with Ramatra, who's the leader of the Null Sector, big bads in Overwatch universe, and he basically offers this guy Cybertronian tech to help Megatron take over the world and blah, blah, blah. So he gets Cybertronian tech to help power him. He's in this Ramatra guy's up against Overwatch, and then that's when you see Optimus Prime talking to RC and I think Bumblebee, and it's like, we have to contact the heroes of this Earth and also give them Cybertronian tech. Basically saying, here's why the Overwatch characters have Cybertronian skins now. And that's the gist of it. But Overwatch, you've got characters in it. They all have different skins that you can buy and put on. So we're gonna see some Transformers themed skins for different characters. I hope they kind of make them so that they fit the characters correctly. Like, there's some characters who would work well as Starscream or Soundwave or RC or Optimus, and I'd like to see what they do with it. I'm not a big Overwatch player myself. I played a little bit and I suck at it. So I don't know. We'll see. But I want to see what the skins look like. I want to see what they look like when they're done.
Cool. All right. And we have a stop motion. This is a stop motion from Takara Tomy, and it's revealing an original song. I don't really. What is this about?
It's a Japanese song for the, I guess, the Japanese release of Transformers 1.
And it's
Okay.
It's in Japanese.
and it's the Autobots playing the music basically as a concert. And then you
Oh,
get to see
okay.
it, you get to see a couple of the flip changers like the Wheeljack and Bumblebee and stuff.
Oh, good.
It's
Okay.
silly. It's silly.
Seems like it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. Moving on. And lastly, we have an interview with director Josh Cooley about working with ILM and some deleted gladiatorial fights. So, yeah. Every movie ever has deleted scenes. We all know that by now. But this one here has some gladiatorial fights. So Transformers 1, they had some gladiatorial fights that they had deleted from the movie. So, yeah.
So I read this article. The thing that I was encouraged by is that so they talk about how, okay, the movie was only they were had to keep the movie, limit the running time to around 90 minutes. So Josh Cooley is talking about how he originally wanted to have Megatron's backstory as being a gladiator in the movie, but they couldn't fit that in. That would have been too much backstory to add that plus, the Optimus Prime or the Orion Pax friendship. So they simplified it down to just Orion Pax and D16 being miners working on the Energon mines, and they cut out the gladiatorial fights that Megatron would have been in his younger days, as a gladiator, because that is a component of his backstory in several different Transformers continuities. So
Hmm.
what encouraged me was that Josh Cooley he's very cognizant of Transformers lore and is picking and choosing stuff to go into the movie, and he's aware of making sure things are right for the story, making it a good story in the movie, and but still, having references to like all the Transformers stuff that we care about. So
Hmm.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah. I, I keep getting more and more encouraged by um, the um, ability that Josh Cooley has to bring to this. Um, that being said, I hold no um, um, hope that that Lorenzo Bonaventura can't destroy this as well. So um, there's nothing that a great director can't make that a terrible producer can't destroy. So yeah, I have high hopes. So yeah, I'd like to see this do well, but I'm not kidding myself. This is meant for kids, so I'm expecting some real like fun stuff. Like it's going to be more cutesy and fun than dark and violent.
Yeah, I expect that too.
Yeah.
The majority of Transformers is kids stuff. And honestly,
Yep.
a lot of times they're trying to be dark and gritty. It's just not good. Michael Bay.
Mhm.
All right, well, that's all our media news. So we'll move on to some convention news.
All right, so in convention news, we have a couple of announcements for some special guests at TF Nation 2024. Jim Sorensen, James Roberts, and Alex Milne will all be at TF Nation 2024. So, a couple of great writers, artists, all going to be at TF Nation 2024. Sadly, we will not be, unless they want
Hmm.
to send us over there, right? That'd be great.
Yeah, if someone gives me a free trip to England for
It's like,
TF Nation, sure. Yes.
I mean, come on, who wouldn't want us there? We're great. We're great. But Jim Sorensen, of course, the author of things like the Allspark Almanac, James Roberts, who wrote oh my god, I have to bring it up because I'm blanking. More than meets the eye, Lost Light, like that kind of stuff. I don't know why I blanked on that. I'm sorry. And Alex Milne, who fantastic comic artist, did the work for More Than Meets the Eye, Unicron, and a lot of other amazing work. So, yeah. So if you go to TF Nation, go say hi to him. Tell him Transmission sent you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That probably won't mean much to any of them, except maybe Alex. I don't know.
It might mean something to Alex. He'll say, "Get out of here. I don't want to talk to you."
Alex is a friend of the show, right?
Yeah.
Friendly.
Friendish.
No, Alex is cool. We hung out with Alex a lot at TFCon LA, and he will be at TFCon Toronto. So
We hung out with him last year at TFCon Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's cool, and his art is amazing. So we are hoping. He did do a couple of exclusive covers, retailer exclusive covers for Skybound in the last couple of months. So hopefully that will
Mm-hmm.
push forward. Maybe we can get him to put his name in the running to get some artwork on the new Transformers comics. So
That'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all our convention news. Let's finish up the show with some feedback. Okay, we have one piece of feedback. This came to us from Discord, and this is from friend of the show, TFG1 Mike. And he had a comment about our Destro review. So he says, "Hey, all y'all. So life has been getting in my way of listening, but as I am also covering all the Energon Universe books, I wanted to tap into your Destro #1 review episode. I'm glad y'all are covering the Joe books. I liked Scarlet #1. Kelly Thompson is a writer I know and like her style, besides the fact that I've interviewed her a few times over the years. However, Destro was badly written. I've never really stopped covering a series before, but Destro #1 made me not want to continue it. Besides the Astoria reference, I compared Destro's ancestral statues to Mum-Ra's ancient spirits of evil in my review. Keep up the excellent work. I promise I'll be catching up more in the future." That is a good that is a good analogy. Now when I see that Destro scene where he's looking at the statues of his ancestors, that does remind me of Thundercats and Mum-Ra saying, "Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mum-Ra, the ever living."
I'm confused. Should I read Destro 1 or shouldn't I? Because I'm getting two conflicting feelings about this now.
I mean, I didn't find it any worse than the other G.I. Joe Energon Universe comics. So I thought it was fine. I mean, but TFG and Mike didn't like it, which I think is perfectly a perfectly valid opinion. Daryl routinely does not like any G.I. Joe comics. So.
No, I'm sure Daryl loved it. I'm sure he was thrilled that it got reviewed.
But yeah, I mean, opinions will differ. I thought the Astoria, like putting the girl who loved Power Glide randomly into the book was a bit weird, and she was like completely a 180 from her personality in that one G1 episode from the cartoon. But whatever. I mean, we don't really see where that goes in that one issue, so you have to wait till the next issue to see if that goes anywhere. But yeah. But we will probably be reviewing these just to piss Daryl off more. So, that continues.
It's going to work.
or you're going to find Daryl's taking a lot more work-related trips on certain weeks.
Right. Can't make it.
All right. Well, thanks TFG1 Mike for writing in, and we will we are continuing to cover the Energon universe, so look forward to more reviews. All right, well, that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. As always, we give a shout out to our masterpiece donatrons in every episode. These are the folks who continue to support the podcast at our highest level on Patreon, and that's why we think they deserve a mention in every episode. So thank you once again to John Forks Levengood, Demon Tech 82, and Steve C. And Dr. Pants, thank you for coming on the show again. We will see you at TFCon Toronto today. I guess this evening we will all meet up. And, as if you're listening to this on your drive towards Toronto, look forward to seeing us there. Come say hi. Don't be shy. We will be happy to greet you. And I've got stickers to hand out. So we've got 10th Transmissions 10th anniversary stickers and good guy and bad guy stickers. So if you are at TFCon Toronto, say hi. I'll give you a sticker.
I'm going to say hi and ask for a sticker.
I'll give you a sticker, Dr.
Yay, thanks. I love stickers.
So, we'll see you all there if you're going. And, looks like it's going to be a fun weekend, as always. So that'll do it. All right, Dr. Pants, why don't you tell everyone where they can find your stuff online, even though you're going to be at TFCon in the offline world?
Well, you can find me and my friends. There's a link tree post if you're watching the video version. If not, it's in the show notes. It takes you to Nerdstradamus, which is where you can find all of our stuff. There is a YouTube channel where we do most of our stuff. We are also on all the social media, TikTok, Instagram, blah, 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 all that crap. It's just us doing fun things. And we're even on Spotify with music. I'm not the musical one, so don't worry. It's good, I promise. But if you see me at TFCon, I'll have business cards for Nerdstradamus with QR codes so you can find us. If you want to, please find us. Please watch our stuff. We really appreciate it. But and as always, guys, thank you so much for having me here. I love the opportunity to talk about Transformers and bitch. Such a good time. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. And thank you, everyone, for watching and listening to this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.